Thank you, Freak. I again want to extend our congratulations to Wild Turtle for crossing that 500 career kills mark. That's quite an accomplishment. A solid win by TSM. Definitely some hiccups there in the end game. I do want to touch on, though...
Style hiccups.
It's also some style hiccups, exactly.
I was wondering, why didn't Bjergsen buy sort of the cult this game? And then I was like, he was planning on diving a lot.
No, because he needed a Hydra, of course, on top to go over 500 AD. I do want to talk about, though, something that has plagued other teams that TSM did very well in this game, which is tower dives. Yeah. We've seen some failed tower dives in the past really cost teams. TSM executed a great tower dive bottom and then had the initiative to follow Maokai to the top lane and repeat the same thing to really take great advantages.
Their early game lane swapping was actually really solid. It's something they were really weak on in week 1, and it's became a bit of a strong point for them in this game. Not to mention, this is one of the times where they started the mid lane with just Bjergsen. There was no like Bjergsen Santorin thing there. They actually did diversify a little bit and have a very strong early game.
Yeah, I mean, while they did do the early game a lot stronger than usual, when they came together at first for their first team fight, it was a little bit disjointed. We do have a replay. This is around the Dragon. Now, this team is all about diving in on the high priority targets and taking them out, but when you have some miscommunication here, Santorin goes on a different target from Bjergsen and Dyrus.
Yep.
And this is also a perfect example of why every single time Lissandra is picked, I mentioned how she's squishy and she relies on the invulnerabilities to actually make anything happen in this fight. You can see Dyrus this early on with focusing all on cooldown and he has 0 defense stats on this Lissandra. And he gets blown up before his ultimate goes off. So if your Lissandra ultimate doesn't go off and your Vi ult's a tank jungler on the other side, that's where this squad is going to run into problems. Because Bjergsen's, he's got his eyes on the priority targets. He's going after AD carry, AP carry. But if there's no follow-up, the Dyrus ultimate's not going to be there, and Santorin's not there.
And the two of their huge damage threats, their dive threats, Bjergsen and Dyrus, they also lined up for the Xerath. In chasing down the Graves and the Xerath, they kind of lined up and they took more damage as opposed to, you know, playing angles.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Maokai is one of the best counters to melee AD carries, like, you know, Zed and Kha'Zix. He shuts them down so easily because you get instant targeted stun and then he reduces all their damage. So
it was just a really sloppy fight by TSM. Some sloppiness in the game, but overall, like, they did have a lot of control.
Right, I was going to say, they did then manage to kind of regroup around what their comp is good at in utilizing the Sivir ultimate. And we do have another replay. I want to pull that one up, and Jat's going to walk us through, you know, the strengths of this comp.
Yeah, this was a classic example, I believe, of Sivir teams not being able to be flanked. Let's just roll the clip right here, because St. Vicious gets lost around the backside. Gravity is only 4 people there because Saint was also hoping to plan a fight, but Sivir runs away from St. Vicious with everyone. They can't get a clean counter engage on because not only do they have the Sivir for move speed, they do have the Janna to reset a fight afterwards. Saint's completely off on his own, and it's just a formality for him to die after this one. This is all Sivir and all TSM just being on the same page. That's what kind of gave him control back in the game.
When you're facing a team like this that TSM drafted, you have to always be ready for that Sivir all-in. If you split up and you try and flank them, and you guys are split up, then they're just going to charge one of the sides, and oh no, we're outnumbered. Like,
well,
oh no.
Loco Doco tweeted out, "This is so messy" during the game. So even some words from the coach there, kind of maybe a little bit apprehensive about the cohesion of the players within the team.
Hey, what's important? Both TSM and COG won today. For as far as these guys are considered, they avoided the trap games, if not for a little bit of sloppiness in both of them. I mean, COG's game at the start of the day, they looked like they were going to lose to Coast for a little bit. And this one, there was a pretty bad lost team fight by TSM.
All right, well, you already mentioned one of our big matchups tomorrow. Let's pull up the standings. Right now, we have CLG and Team Solo Mid tied for first, as Jat said, setting up a big showdown tomorrow. And then we've got Cloud9 and Liquid sharing third place. And, of course, in fifth, we still have a 4-way tie, followed by Dignitas in ninth place. And in last, with 1 win, it's Coast. Looking at tomorrow's schedule, though, we will be starting off the day with Winter Fox versus Cloud9. Then Team Impulse will be taking on Team Coast. After that, it's our marquee matchup between longtime rivals CounterLogic Gaming and Team Solo Mid as they battle it out for sole possession of first place. And if those stakes aren't high enough for you, remember, one of the team's owners Well, their hair is on the line. The loser's going to have to dye their hair pink. You do not want to miss it. You can catch our coverage here starting at noon Pacific, 9 p.m. Central European. Now for myself, the casters, and the entire broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
All the bets revolve around